This is PreCalc 11, Chapter 2.1. This time we're going to look at the absolute value. It's a function. And in simplest terms, absolute value changes negative numbers into positive ones. In physics, we deal with real numbers such as displacement and velocity. But we also have only positive value quantities such as distance and speed. We never have negative distance, but we do have negative displacement. And you should know a synonym for absolute value is magnitude. Make sure you're careful to choose the correct terminology. So, for instance, the displacement of a spring is -5 centimeters. What is the magnitude? And it's 5 centimeters. It's just the absolute value of -5. The car's velocity is 25 kilometers per hour. What is the speed? It's just 25 kilometers per hour. The temperature went from 10 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius. What is the absolute value of the temperature change? And it's 5 Celsius degrees. And whenever you do a change in temperature, you put Celsius first, degrees second. Whereas this is a measure of the temperature, we put degrees first, Celsius second. Now, because absolute value is used frequently, we have a shortcut. We normally spell it out ABS X, and that's what you'll see on your calculator. However, in math, we use a vertical line, X, and another vertical line. So, for example, this is absolute value of 4.2, and the answer is 4.2. The absolute value of -3.7, and that's 3.7. Okay, absolute value is fairly straightforward. The difficulty occurs for questions like this. X squared equals 49. This means the absolute value of x equals the square root of 49. X equals plus or minus 7. Because the absolute value of -7 is 7, and the absolute value of 7 is 7, which equals the square root of 49. But if we just have x equals square root 49, this is just x equals 7. Okay, so this is only positive. This is the principal square root, and it's not plus or minus. When we take the square root of a variable squared, that's when we have plus or minus. So make sure you're clear on that. And just to write out another example, since the square root of -5 squared equals square root 25 equals 5. Okay, so something squared is always positive, and when we take the square root, it's going to give you a positive value. Okay, evaluating absolute value expressions, we still follow BEDMAS. So here we have 3 minus 7, that's the absolute value of -4. 4 minus 9, that's -5. Plus the absolute value of -2 minus 5. That's the absolute value of -7. And we have 3 plus 2, and that's just 5. Okay, and if we go ahead and evaluate this, this is 4 times -5, that's -20. Absolute value of -7 times 5, that's plus 35. And our answer is 15. Okay, solving absolute value equations. And remember, whatever inside can be positive or negative. So let's simplify the right-hand side first. X minus 3, absolute value, equals 5. So now when we remove the absolute value sign, the other side needs to be plus or minus. So we break this into two. We have x minus 3 equals negative 5. We have x minus 3 equals 5. So bring the negative 3 over the other side, that's plus 3, so that's negative 2. Bring the negative 3 over the other side, that's plus 3, and we have 8. And when we have two answers like this, it's x equals negative 2 or x equals 8. It's not and. Please do not put and in here. It's an or. And since absolute value x is a function, you should know the domain. And its domain is x is an element of all reals. And that completes this lesson.